You know, just when you would think that Hunter Biden couldn't get any sleazier, along comes a new book by one of his ex-girlfriends whose name is Lunden Roberts. And I read the book, so you don't have to, and I'm going to tell you all about it right here. And you might want to keep in mind the word amoeba, because that's going to come up about Hunter Biden. But first, a little recap if you're not familiar with Lunden Roberts. She is a woman from Arkansas. She was a high school college basketball star. In fact, she met him at his investment firm Rosemont Seneca in about 2017. Now, at the time, Hunter Biden was going through a divorce from his first wife and also sleeping with his dead brother's widow, Hallie Biden. And Lunden Roberts comes on the scene. She describes the first time she met him in the offices of Rosemont Seneca for an after party. He was sitting alone in an office in underwear that had parrots on them, and he was arranging all his drug paraphernalia in front of him. Obviously, this was not going to be a match made in heaven, but Lunden Roberts describes how beautiful his blue-gray eyes were, and we're off to the races. And she just tells an amazing story of about a year relationship with him, on and off. She had a group of women, younger women. She was only about 28 at the time. He was about 50. They called themselves the Amoeba, and they were all these young women that accompanied Hunter. They drove him places. They helped him get drugs on some occasions, and it was all very sleazy. And really, there are 400 pages in this book, and it's a rollicking tale of her taking crazy Amtrak trips with Hunter, in which at one point he got off to buy pants, and then he got back on. And Lunden Roberts treads a very thin line in this book. She's sympathetic to Hunter, but part of that is because they have a child together. They have a 5-year-old girl named Navy Joan, who nobody in the Biden family acknowledged until last year. Lunden had to take Hunter to court and get DNA tests and all of that, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. She tells a story of this sort of drug-fueled, crazy time with Hunter, and there was one moment that wasn't all fun and games when he arrived at one of the hotels, the Rosewood Hotel, this big fancy Washington, D.C. hotel that he had for the Amoeba, and he was really on the verge of an overdose. He staggered, his face was distorted. Lunden stayed with him all night, fearing he was going to die. And the next morning he got up like everything was okay. That was his whole world. He left his phones everywhere. He would try to help people like a homeless guy. He gave a homeless guy his jacket while in the throes of being very high, not realizing he was leaving crack cocaine and his dead brother's dog tags with this jacket he gave to the homeless man. He did eventually get it back. So it's a pretty sleazy story. It does have somewhat of a happy ending because she did take him to court. He denied ever having sex with her. He called her a stripper, which we think she was. She worked at a club called Empire in Washington, D.C., but that is not how she met him. So he denied all the paternity until she forced him to really, come to court and show proof. And now he has begun a relationship with her daughter by Zoom. Joe Biden has not met Navy, the child, but she's hopeful that they will. And when I said to her, you seem awfully forgiving of Hunter, I spoke to her on the phone, and she said yes. I said, is it because you have a child? And she said yes. She's hoping one day, she said everything's on the table, and one day she hopes that her daughter will know her grandfather as well as her father.